Yo, 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 what is up, everybody? Kyle and Mike from the Fantasy Phenom breaking down today's. What do we have? 7 games on the main? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 7 games on the main. So 11 games total, 4 on the early.
Mm-hmm.
That is obviously finishing up right now. All right, Baltimore Cincy. Game does not look good as of right now. Possible postponed threat here.
Interesting. Um, yeah, so I guess if you guys are new to baseball, Mondays and Thursdays are the light days. Today's Thursday, usually some day games. Some people have days off. Baltimore, Cincinnati. I guess assuming this game plays, I imagine there'd be a lot of runs going
It might
in this
actually
game with these two pitchers.
what it might end up being, because it looks like the rain will start. It's got almost a 50% chance now. So these percentages have upped. It looks like it is now at 45,
Hmm.
47, 62. So what we're looking at now is almost a 50% chance that it rains at game start. If that's the case, you're probably going to see some delays. Um, and with that, you also run the risk of a possible short game if this does in fact play. So a lot of risk involved here.
Yeah, and it sucks too because on a short slate, this game looks to be scoring a good amount of points. Obviously, over under at 9. With a money line that doesn't really favor one side over the other too much. So I think I was looking at a couple players, a couple batters at least. Which again, this game might still play for the batters. I don't think either of these pitchers I was on.
Mike Trout just hit a home run. I don't think many people had him in the early slate, but if they did, congrats.
Trout's always got a good little bit of ownership.
I don't know, man. With Chris Sale, it was really hard to fit someone like Mike
True.
Trout in. But if you could do it, kudos. I don't think I saw anyone in my contest with Chris Sale. Or I'm
You
sorry,
mean
with
with Mike Trout?
with Mike Trout. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean with this rain, obviously you worry about the pitchers more than the batters, but I wouldn't really be rostering Wade Miley or Scott Feldman. And Wade Miley did well against the Blue Jays, I think, his last start. But so has everybody else in the league, it seems like.
I don't know, man. I'm still a little hesitant to roster some of these hitters, especially if they don't call this game till let's say they try and get a short game and they try and go to the 5th inning. You run the risk of a short game. That's going to give you 2-3 plate appearances at most.
Yeah. No, it is true. There's definitely risk involved. But like I said, I mean, assuming this game goes all the way, there's a lot to like here. It's just I guess we're going to have to wait till kind of closer to lock to see what the dealio is going to be.
Yeah, I don't know. Just I find myself actually fading most of this game. Too much concern. I mean, if there's a possible rain, I don't know how much. The wind does look like it's somewhat favorable right now. It looks like it's blowing. Kind of. It's not really in any direction. It's blowing towards left, but almost. Um, it's blowing at a very much northwest angle, so it's not really out of the ballpark. It's
Like a
just
little
yeah. It's kind of like a veering off this way. So
a little vortex or
yeah,
something.
it's not necessarily ideal wind. So I don't know how much. I don't know. I don't find myself rostering this game. I feel like there's too many other games that I'm looking at that are in better spots, better wind.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I thought these right-handed bats against Feldman in that ballpark might be okay. Way to go today.
No, absolutely.
Um, Weird that there's no Trey Mancini after his hot couple of days.
Yeah, they took him out. Hyun Sung Soo Kim, that guy fell off
The
hard,
leadoff.
man. He was one of the next big imports and didn't really do much last year. Hasn't really played much this year. I think you can look at
Yeah, the
obviously.
Kims.
What's up?
Him and Byung Hyun Kim, remember?
Yeah, on the Twins. I
Was
don't.
he Minnesota?
Yeah, Twins. I think he's in the minor leagues right now, or he got released. One of the two.
Yeah, maybe. No, I think I heard something about him like not being able to come to America or something.
No,
Something
that
weird.
was Jung Ho Park on the Rangers. He got
Gotcha.
he got a DUI in Korea, and I believe that's his third one. And he's either one in jail or two denied the visa.
Dang. What can you do?
Um, okay,
You
with
buy?
go ahead.
No, never mind. That was a dumb question.
Do you roster? If I look at this game, I'm looking more to red stack more than a an Oriole stack. I don't know why. I just like the Reds bats a little better. But like I said, I don't have a player from this game in my initial roster.
Yeah, I think the thing with Wade Miley is that he does walk a ton of batters. The
Yep.
Reds, let's see, where are the Reds in the walks this year? The Reds are kind of middle of the pack here, or no, they're actually bottom 10 teams. I guess with the exception of Joey Votto, they don't really walk much. Orioles are last in the league in walks early on this year.
They strike out a
Interesting.
ton. How about Amir Garrett yesterday, man?
I know, man. The dude is looking electric, man. Again,
Jags. I want to just shout out someone real quick. Uh, Lewis Young won $400 yesterday by playing Amir Garrett and Bryce Harper. So,
nice.
bro, I'm telling you, you literally could have played Amir Garrett and Bryce
Anyone?
Harper, just those two, had no one else, and you cashed in a double up yesterday. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
They scored a combined 115 points, and
Wow.
because yeah, Bryce Harper had 60, Amir Garrett had 55. Those
Yeah,
two,
wasn't that
those two alone, crazy.
Bryce Harper? I guess difference in scoring. He had 46 on DraftKings. I don't really know the difference in scoring that much, or as far as cash lines or whatever.
Yeah, on FanDuel the
But
cash line was right around. Well, actually, I think after Kershaw finished, I think it ended up at about 122. Could be wrong, but I know it was right around there. So
yeah, it must have been. It might have been a little higher on DraftKings yesterday, just because the two pitchers. If you had
yeah, Garrett, you had
good number of
Vargas.
pitchers that went off. Yeah, Vargas, Keuchel, Greinke, all played pretty well.
Yeah, Ryan Zimmerman hit a grand slam yesterday. I mean, there was just a lot of
A
scoring
lot of
from that Nats
points.
game.
Yeah, Yankees obviously had home run derby in the Bronx last night.
Yeah, we talked about Starlin Castro and Chase Headley and Aaron Judge. That cheap stack right there. All three hit a home run.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean,
That Judge home run, dude. Goodness.
yeah, he's trying to be Barry
That
Bonds.
went a long way.
He's trying his best to be Barry Bonds. I see it, but
He is a much bigger dude than Barry Bonds. Dude is enormous.
yeah, he's not better though. So
Oh,
you can
I
have.
mean, seems like an unreasonable argument
I
at
just
this point.
I have to hammer down your Yankee homer hopes.
Hey, man, the dude's like a linebacker.
I see it. I see it. I still hate him, but it's okay. Um, Philly, New York.
He's
This
a
is a,
super nice guy too.
yeah, he needs to fix his teeth. Philly and New York. Really low implied total. 6.5 total. Um, Under 3 runs for the Phillies, under 4 for the Mets. You have Noah and Aaron Nola. The current situation on this game is wind blowing in east west. I'm sorry, north, no, southwest. Southwest. I apologize. Blowing towards left field in. There's a little bit of
Blowing
a
in from left.
blowing in towards left. So coming in from the right, down at this angle. Southwest.
Okay.
So not favorable. Also, a slight chance of rain towards the end of the game. I wouldn't really worry about that too much. And then Noah Syndergaard obviously was day to day. Do you have any concerns with him pitching?
It was a broken fingernail. I mean, obviously there is some concern, but the dude's only given up 2 runs all season, 3 straight quality starts. K numbers are seemingly in line. I don't have any concern with Noah Syndergaard against the Phillies.
What about Aaron Nola? Uh, I really like his stuff. The only concern is obvious splits between lefties and righties. And the Mets are throwing out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 lefties against him because Noah Syndergaard bats left as well.
Yeah, and one of those lefties happens to be. I'm sorry, one of those. Where is it at?
What are you looking at?
Nothing. I was just looking up. I said one of those lefties happens to be Jay Bruce,
Yes.
who
Hit 2 home runs yesterday.
he is becoming a bigger platoon guy. Look up his numbers. He only has 2 hits and 17 at bats versus left-handed pitching. Versus right-handed pitching, it's batting almost 400 with 7 extra base hits earlier on this season. So, yeah, he's definitely a guy that I like today still.
Absolutely. A Blatten cleanup. This lineup's confirmed. Both these lineups are.
I like Bruce, Walker, Conforto. 3 lefties in a row there.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Walker's a switch hitter.
He is.
If I'm not mistaken.
So he'll bat left-handed.
But yeah, I think it helps too with Duda out. I think Bruce will probably play first base. That's probably why Conforto's in the lineup.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but that kind of helps them out. Honestly, gets Conforto's bat in the lineup.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This stack it's killed me so many times. Do I dare go back there? I don't know.
Yeah, I think most time it's like. But I mean, I don't know. I like Conforto. I think I'd rather play him than Bruce today, for the price.
Yeah, Bruce's price has increased.
If I'm picking a one-off.
Yep. And I kind of like the 5 or the 4, 5, 6 stack if you can do it. So something to look at. I like Walker as a one-off as well at second base. Do you like anyone on the Philly side? Are you targeting? Would you play against Nola at all?
Sorry, it looks like Bruce and Conforto are the same price, 3,500. That makes me like Bruce more. I assumed, I guess, that he's gonna be higher. Anyway, yeah, on the Phillies, I don't think I'm gonna go in. I don't really want to play against Noah Syndergaard.
Fair enough. Same here.
On this slate.
Washington, Atlanta. Washington stack is right back in effect today. Unfortunately, the guy with the best history of anyone versus R.A. Dickey is not in the lineup, and that was Jason Worth, batting almost 400.
Really? Yeah, I saw that. That's dumb. Why did they do that? I wanted to play him.
Groin injury.
Oh, dang.
He left the game yesterday. But I'm right back on. I can go 1 through 4. I can go 2 through 5. Ryan Zimmerman has some numbers versus Dickey. I believe he's batting almost 300. Has the most at-bats of any national. So, I mean...
And Zimmerman is playing really well. I mean, you look at what he's been doing. He's got a 340 ISO in 54 plate appearances to start the season. That's pretty unreal.
Here's the one problem I find with Ryan Zimmerman. Freddie Freeman is on the other side. Freddie Freeman owns Steven Strasburg. Matt Kemp has good numbers as well versus him, and he's back in the lineup today. And Freddie Freeman is hot, and this ballpark is made for him. He's only $3,500 on FanDuel. He dropped in price.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, there's a $1,100 difference in price. So I mean, I like both players. I guess it just kind of would depend on what you're doing as far as roster construction. I mean,
I had to find a way, honestly, to get Freeman in the lineup. I just think he is, with his prior history versus Strasburg, the streak he's on right now, he's still at home. The wind is blowing out here as well. Wind is blowing northeast, only 5 miles an hour, but 80-degree weather. That's beautiful. So, hitting conditions are good for Freddie Freeman. And then Matt Kemp being back in the lineup, man. Talking about going up against Steven Strasburg. His BVP numbers are good.
I honestly don't understand why players even pitched to Freeman. Like, with that lineup, like, I would just not give him anything to hit.
That makes sense. Yeah, Freddie Freeman, 14 hits in 35 appearances with 4 home runs against Steven Strasburg and 6 walks. So
Nice.
Yeah, definitely a lot.
Yeah, no, I think Freeman's in play for always. I think that BVP is nice. Harper Murphy Zimmerman, like we said. I like to look at BVP a lot with knuckleballers because generally you hit him or you don't.
Yep.
So you're not thinking about playing Strasburg at all against this Atlanta team?
You know what? My pitcher of the day is Danny Duffy.
Yeah, I like Danny Duffy. I think there's a couple guys. I think I've kind of narrowed it down to 5, and Strasburg is one of the 5.
I worry about Strasburg with some of the ownership in the middle of this lineup. Freeman, Kemp, Markakis hasn't done terrible, so I don't know. That's my concern. Strasburg also has shown the ability to give up a couple home runs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Just I don't think he's the best pitcher that I can pay for at that money. How about that?
No, I agree. I think I would rather pay for Syndergaard on DraftKings at least. He's only 800, or it's only $700 more. Just for the K upside, I think Philly would strike out more than the Atlanta Braves, and then I don't know. You got a couple guys with higher K upside, in my opinion, on this slate for the price.
Yeah, agree completely. So
Although Strasburg does, I mean, he can go out there and strike out 12 guys easily.
yeah, no, the upsides there. We saw Joe Ross. Joe Ross had a good game yesterday. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think Freddie
Early on in
Freeman.
the season, he really does not give up the fly ball. It looks like I'm
Yeah,
looking
his
at
April
ground ball
numbers.
to fly ball.
He does. He's not allowed an April home run in the last 3 years.
Well, he had one last game. I don't know if that's in whatever sample size you're looking at.
That might not have been in the last one.
But it's strange. I mean, because his ground ball to fly ball ratio at the start of this season is pretty unreal. 11-4, 8-5, 14-4.
Yeah, I mean these numbers: 28% fly ball rate. I mean everywhere else he's above 30. 14 Ks per nine. Everywhere else he's around 10. So clearly an April pitcher, and this is exactly why I include this stat because I think some guys just literally perform better at certain times of the year, and this is one of those
Yeah.
guys. What's up, Antoine? Austin asked, "What do we think of Granderson and Cabrera?" I could be a contrarian too, man. I don't see a lot of people on that today.
Yeah, especially with Jay Bruce turning heads, and him being
Granderson's
only out eligible on
Fanduel
DraftKings.
and Fanduel. Also, Granderson's price is dropping. So
Yep. Obviously gets the ball in the air, can square it up if he wants to. He's leading off too. So I don't know. Since he moved into this leadoff role, I'm curious to see the numbers there, but I don't mind it at all. I think Met Stack is in play today for sure.
be careful. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Another guy, dude, April pitcher. Look at this, Mike. In April, Danny Duffy, average of 208, 12 strikeouts per nine. Also, not giving up a home run in April over the last 3 years.
Duffy.
Look at the fly
Yeah.
ball ratio. So again, 21%.
Yeah, he's been another guy. I think again, I was definitely looking at him. I think he's underpriced on DraftKings at 8,200. I mean, he's been cruising. He's been cruising to start the season. There's no doubt about it. He's given up a total of 4 earned runs in. Let me see. It's 20 innings pitched, so that's pretty damn good ERA. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say. I think Texas, I guess, is not a greatest ballpark to roster a pitcher. That's for sure. It is April, so and most of their big bats.
I lied. He has given up. He gave up one home run last year, and he gave up two
We
the
talking
year
about
before. Danny Duffy in April.
stuff.
Yeah.
Um, what in the heck?
So,
Yeah, I guess ballpark is a concern.
wind is blowing in pretty heavily here. So last time I checked, right now it is blowing almost directly south at 11 miles per hour, meaning straight towards home plate. So, you want to talk about knocking down some balls?
Well, I guess it would depend on what the ball where the ballpark is facing. Not like all ballparks face due north.
No,
But
no.
yeah, I mean,
Well, I'm just saying. Well, it's south relative to center field. That's how I'm relating it. Not
gotcha.
so.
I wasn't sure if
Relative.
you were looking at like a weather report or something.
I mean, technically, according to where the ballpark is located, it's blowing southeast. But in reference to center field being straight ahead and being north, it's blowing directly back.
Well, that's good. That's definitely a bonus, and I think also being a bonus that he's a lefty, and you got Mazzara and Odor and Gallo,
I
I
was
think the
gonna
bigger
say
bats in the lineup, all lefties. So
their best
lefties against
their
um,
best hitting bats are lefties, and Duffy.
exactly.
Look at these numbers versus lefties: a 223 WOBA, .1 home run per nine to lefties.
So seemingly it'd be a good matchup to go up against Texas.
Exactly. So, and I think it'll be low owned because it is in Texas. I mean,
Yeah,
this run
that's why his
total.
price is so low.
Yep, this run total is not high. Either, I mean, it's not low either. 9 runs per implied, 4.3 for Texas. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I had to choose one pitcher that he would be like my one guy that I liked the most. But on DraftKings, when you have to have two, I'm thinking about paying up for two guys today.
interesting. Who did you
I
roster
think I am
yesterday?
gonna.
Interestingly,
I rostered Archer and Greinke.
okay,
Yep, Archer was the victim, unfortunately, of some bad luck in that fifth inning, but he was cruising to start the game.
definitely. For what it's worth, Greinke was the victim of a bad luck. Man, gave up 1 run in the 8th inning, and then all of a sudden, done.
Yeah, so yeah, I think Archer would have stayed in the game a lot longer had Kiermaier caught that ball and left. Um, and then he made a good pitch to Cabrera, but Miguel Cabrera is a beast, so they end up taking him out.
Do you look at anyone on the Royal side here against Andrew Kashner, who has shown quite the ability to give up some runs? Although he did pitch.
Yeah, what was I looking at? I think I was looking at Salvi against Kashner. Let me look at these numbers once again.
Salvi. That's interesting. He does hit. I mean, minus the Woba, he has good numbers versus righties on the road. So
Yeah, I think so. Kashner looks like he's only made one start. He came off the DL from his shoulder injury, and the second, or it looks like the second time through the order is when Seattle got to him. Like he just gave up. He gave up a big. It might have been the third time because it was the sixth inning, but he gave up a big sixth inning, and they took him out.
yeah,
Obviously, coming off injury, he was playing well, and then all of a sudden had a big inning.
I worry about him because, I mean, even his numbers that were decent, how inflated was it? You want to talk about polar opposites going from Petco to
Yep.
Arlington. So
Yep. True that. And again, he's only made one start off coming off injury, and he didn't. Again, he couldn't make it through the fifth. So, I think you can target him. I don't really know exactly where I want to target him as of yet. I think looking at these numbers, there's not really anybody that super stands out. Obviously, I mean the number you're looking at is Brandon Moss at 41% hard contact rate, but it's still Brandon Moss in a sense. He hasn't done much to start the season. Imagine he's a platoon guy, right?
Brandon Moss, he's been playing pretty regularly actually, which is kind of weird. JC, I turned to my pitching coach for suggestions. I put JC on Amir Garrett yesterday, and he was in first for a GPP for quite a while. Ended up still cashing nicely, but also
Brandon Moss.
David won $200 yesterday. Forgot about that. Shout out to David.
Yeah, my line tripled up as well. I think yesterday was a good night for a lot of people that I talked to. So, congrats, guys.
I think Amir Garrett made up like 3% ownership. Bryce Harper was only 16% owned. He was under 10% in my double ups, Mike. How?
Yeah, I didn't get to look at what Amir Garrett was on DraftKings. Remember we were talking about that, like what his ownership would be because of the double pitchers. Let me see if I can find that. Because, yeah, that was I wanted to look that up. But who are you looking at as far as these Royals guys? I mean,
I'm not looking at any, honestly. It's not a game I'm stacking. Really, I'm
I
looking at
mean,
Danny
there's a
Duffy, and
9
that's it.
over under. I think there's going to be some runs scored, and if we're looking at if we like Danny Duffy, Vegas likes run be scored, it's going to come off at Kansas City, right? So,
Look at Moose. Look at Moose.
I'm looking for a home run. I think so. I would focus on this hard contact fly ball, and so yeah, Moose
Moose,
definitely
Moose
Moose
and
and Gordon
Moss.
there
Moose and Moss.
or Moss, yeah.
Courtney asked, "How do I pick a team to stack on FanDuel?" I look at implied total. Look at the
Looking at the
opposing
pitcher
pitcher. The
stats,
opposing
yep,
pitcher. Yep.
that's the biggest thing. I think you're trying to find the pitcher you think is going to have a really bad game, give up some home runs. So you're looking at pitcher. I value recent performance. I value like home run to fly ball rate. Fly ball to ground ball rates.
So I would say I don't look to fully team stack Kansas City, but Moose and Moss are one-offs for me.
I get on board with that. I think another reason I liked Salvia's again catcher position today.
Mm-hmm.
He might be the biggest catcher bat facing the worst starting pitcher on the slate. You know what I mean? So take numbers out of it. Yeah. I won't say he's the worst starting pitcher on the slate, but you're talking to if you're talking about like catchers that hit well.
Yeah. No, I mean he's one of the top home run hitters in the league. I believe he has 5 this year already. I didn't expect that from Salvi. I mean, we talked about he was striking out more, but his home runs increased. Obviously, he put a little more lift in his swing, but I didn't expect him to be atop the leaderboards.
Amir Garrett in this GPP was 12% owned.
Wow.
Kershaw 42.8.
Yeah, so you're not high at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to St. Louis and Milwaukee. Obviously in a dome. Really, I mean, I'm surprised that Carlos Martinez is not higher favored. I don't view Zach Davies as an ace, but apparently Vegas sees something that I don't. They still have Milwaukee almost scoring 4 runs. Where does that put you off Carlos Martinez at all? I mean, I guess you would say his splits are definitely real. He struggles a little more versus lefties, gives up harder contact, more home runs per 9, higher WOBA. So, talk about Eric Thames, Jonathan Villar, Travis Shaw.
Yeah, I think the jury's still out for me on Carlos Martinez after watching that Yankee game where he just was wild, man. He walked 8 guys, struck out 11. Like, this dude was just firing it in, and didn't really show me much as far as what he can do, Not saying that not saying that Milwaukee walks a lot. I think obviously Thames is getting his walks now because of what he's been doing. But again, you got a guy that was really wild in his last time out in Yankee Stadium, and now he's in Miller Park against a team that's getting the ball up in the air as of late.
They strike out a ton. Like I said, they are all or nothing, man. And so that's one of the reasons I can get behind Carlos Perez, who can definitely get strikeouts. So
Martinez, yeah, no, you're right. I think, you look at this Yankee stat line: 11 Ks, 8 walks. He still put up 23 DraftKings points, which is decent,
Yeah.
Even if with 8 walks, as long as he can get double-digit strikeouts, doesn't really matter.
Strikeouts are the end all, man. They really are.
9K. He's the 3rd highest priced pitcher on DraftKings, however, or I'm sorry, the 4th highest.
I'm interested to see. Let me see. I want to see relative to prices here. Let's see on FanDuel. Let me hold.
DraftKings is Noah Syndergaard 11.8, Strasburg 11.1, Paxton 9.6, Martinez 9K.
So we have Syndergaard at 11.2, Strasburg at 10.6, Duffy at 9.4, Martinez at 9.3, James Paxton at 9, and then you have Aaron Nola down at 79.
So the biggest difference it looks like is Duffy and Paxton.
Wade Miley is the 5th highest.
I guess Wade Miley too. Then
I don't know.
Wade Miley's not.
What do I know?
But. Yeah. So it looks like Paxton's is your cheap guy that I would like on FanDuel, and Duffy is a cheap guy that I would like on DK relative to price or performance.
Mm-hmm. So, do you stack either side here?
Still on Milwaukee.
Either side, Cardinals or Milwaukee.
Yeah, I definitely like stacking in Miller Park. Obviously, I'd rather pick on Zach Davies, but where's the pop? You know, it's hard to pick who's going to get you the home runs. I think obviously you got those 7, 8 guys. I think have pop, but they don't do much else. So you're kind of all or nothing with them. Diaz has been okay, I guess, to start the season, but he hasn't been as good as many people thought he was going to be.
No, I mean he's
It's still very early.
Doesn't have a hit in his last 4 games.
Yeah,
Got the day off yesterday, but still someone I think you can look at. Hitters Park, Matt Carpenter, if he's back in the line. Oh, he is back. No, he's back yesterday, so he'll be back.
Imagine that would be somewhat cheaper stack too. Let me see where the prices are at. Judge Yorko 4K.
Matt Carpenter, what is he? Is he a third base, first base?
I think he's strictly first base. Yeah, 4,800. That's not cheap.
Matt Carpenter is second base.
That's weird.
What the fuck? What is he?
He's a first baseman.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's
out.
He's 3K on FanDuel, but
dude, check this out. Matt Carpenter is 4,800 on DraftKings. Eric Thames 3,800.
Wow.
I don't know what that is. I guess that is another example of dynamic pricing.
Brad asks, when we stack, do you do it manually or through an optimizer? Always manual. I'm not a big fan of optimizers for baseball. I think optimizers rely on projections, and projections in baseball are, for hitters at least, extremely hard to.
There's a lot of variance, man. There's too many factors to consider, in my opinion, when you're talking about stacks.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, 6 out of 7 home runs for Thames came on the road, strangely enough, this season. So
I'm interested. Have they played more road games than home games though? Like, does that?
Not. So they're coming off of looks like a long road trip. Toronto, Cincinnati, Chicago.
Yeah,
3 in Toronto, 4 in Cincinnati, and 3 in Chicago.
Well, he hit 5 in Cincinnati, so that explains it.
Well, yeah.
Courtney asks, is there a value system for MLB like NBA? Not really. More so you just want to hit a cash line. The cash line is typically 150, 140 on FanDuel.
Maybe for your pitchers, but it's totally different on both sides.
Yeah. It's nothing like NBA where you need 5x value. Because you're going to... Most winning lineups oftentimes have a 0 in them, realistically.
Yep, you're just trying to get one of those top 3 pitchers, especially on DraftKings. You want to have at least 2 pitchers in the top 5 on the slate. Set you up nice.
Also, you end up having guys that are 2K outscore guys that are 4K all the time.
All the time, yeah. Absolutely.
So, yeah, you can't really look at value. For example, like Mitch Haniger had 38 points the other day. Looking at it today, Steven Souza, he was under 3K on FanDuel, finished with, I think, over 40 points. So, do you look at a Milwaukee stack of VR, Thames, Braun, Shaw, any of those guys intrigue you versus Martinez?
Yeah, I think it's gonna be in play to me until it quiets down. To be honest with you, I think I don't like it a lot, and I imagine a lot of people won't either, and that makes me kind of lean to take a harder look. I mean, I don't know. I'm not that afraid. I mean, like you said, they strike out a ton. They're facing a hard thrower, so I imagine a lot of people will be off of them. But I think you can try and go there. They've been hot, and they hit the ball pretty far in the hitter's park.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think
I would stick with lefties. I mean, I would stick probably with Thames and Shaw. I mean, obviously Braun to round it out. VR's a switch hitter. And, right, I mean, I think I'd go righty-lefty if I was going to stack.
Yeah.
331 Woba. It's not terrible. I'm talking about Martinez against lefties.
Patrick Corbin, Clayton Richard. Where are you looking?
Yucking.
I mean,
Yucky.
it's a pitcher's park.
It is.
We just saw Wallace Chassin he was in a winning GPP lineup in the main last night, Mike. In the main.
Yeah. Dranky did some work for me too. Got me what I wanted out of him at least. Shelby Miller the day before that. But I don't know. I think I would rather play Corbin, but I don't know that I want to. I think I'm going to try and pay up for 2 pitchers today. I'm not going to take that chance.
Yeah, I'm not going either of these guys. Corbin obviously does well versus lefties, but not enough lefties on this Padre lineup to want to make me go there. Daniel Murphy was just scratched. Awesome.
Weird.
Also, we got the Brewers lineup in, so let me get that updated.
Could play Steven Drew, and then
So
I don't know what they'll do.
VR, Thames, Braun, Shaw. So Shaw's going to bat fourth. Domingo Santana said they're just going to flop. Hernan Perez. Kirk Neuenhuis.
Grant Green.
Jet. Bandy. Bam. Kirk Neuenhuis interests you at all, Mike? 300 plate appearances against righties at home.
The Kirk?
Yeah.
The Kirk. Let's see. Where's he at? That already switched over.
He's at 7.
Da-da-da. Could be an interesting one-off. Let's see. 38% hard contact.
Brad asks, so you would punch in your 4-man stack, then look for value with what you have left in salary? Not necessarily. Like today, right now, I have a lineup that has no more than a 2-man stack, and I have 3 2-man stacks in it.
That's what I did yesterday.
It's really just kind of how the lineup is being built right now.
What I generally do on DraftKings is I pick the one pitcher that I really want, right? And then I go to my stack that I want, and I mean, there's always like 1 or 2 one-offs, usually cheap one-offs that I really like.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to make sure I get those guys in first, and then I'll probably go to my stack, and I like to fill out my lineup before I roster that second pitcher. Just to kind of see, okay, like how far away am I away from this guy that I would like, and then I kind of retool to fit that pitcher in, or maybe I have enough money left over to spend up on some of these cheap one-offs to more expensive one-offs,
Absolutely.
based on my second pitcher.
And for those of you that have joined the Slack community, we did send out a MLB DFS 101 guide that explains picking a pitcher, picking stacks, and all of the above, kind of what to look for, what stats. So,
what stats to look for exactly. Kirk Neuenhuis could be one of those cheap one-offs. Let's see where his price is at on DraftKings. What is he, an outfielder?
Yeah. Reds one-off, Duval or Hamilton. I guess it looks. I don't know. Completely polar opposite players. I guess you roster Billy if you think he's going to get steals, but
it's interesting.
Do I like a Brave stack? Absolutely not. Not against Strasburg. I can see Freeman and maybe Matt Kemp, but other than that, no.
Neuenhuis has been primarily as pinch hitter all year. He's batting .043 with 1 home run, 1 RBI.
Yeah.
So even if he's a pinch hitter, I imagine he's a pinch hitter against a righty bullpen guy, So 3,100 on DraftKings. I think that's I don't know if that's a punt that I want to go.
So James Paxton and Cesar Valdez, last game of the night. Everybody is on James Paxton right now. Everybody. He's 9K on FanDuel. He's going to be super chalked today, I think, because he's cheaper than your Strasburg and whatnot, which I already know Danny Duffy is going to be mad low owned today, so I'm excited about that because I have him. I don't know, man. I get James Paxton. I get the love. There is wind blowing out in this ballpark at 13 miles an hour to right field. So factor that in. I don't think I stack against James Paxton. I think that would be dumb. But I like Adam Rosales if he plays today, Mike. And a couple days ago, me and Corey were talking about this. They did Rosales and Plouffe at 2 and 3. If they do that again, I can dig that 2-man right there.
Yeah, I know. I really like. We've been talking about if you're fading the chalk pitcher to double down and getting some bats in that lineup. And he's not going to have a 0.00 ERA his whole season.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, he's had 3 incredible starts, 22 strikeouts in 15 innings. Or I'm sorry, 21 innings pitched. And I mean, I was high on this guy coming into the season. It's been nice to see it work out. I mean, obviously, Oakland swing and missed up. The chalk is what I'm trying to figure out. Is this chalk worthy? When I have to put 2 pitchers in on DraftKings on a 7-game slate, am I really? Do I really want to not have one of those pitchers be James Paxton? Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that my gut tells me that I just, in comparison to the rest of the slate, unless I think the only way to do that, and I would like to go, is Duffy and Syndergaard. You know.
Yep.
I want Paxton and Syndergaard. But if I can't do it and I need some salary cap relief, do I just go drop Syndergaard to Duffy, or do I drop Paxton to Duffy because of the ownership? You know.
Corey says he doesn't mind a Fegley punt either. They might play him, seeing that Paxton's a lefty and Stephen Vogt is also a lefty, so I could see them playing Fegley.
Yeah, could happen, man.
But yeah, I really hope that I see Rosales at the 2 and Plouffe at the 3, because I think that'll be low owned. I love, and I'll preach this all the time, I love stacking against chalk.
Yeah, it's definitely a tournament way to go, and it's the way to go in baseball, man.
Yep.
It really has worked out well. It just sucks that it's if it wasn't a 7-game slate, I'd be fading James Paxton as well. But the fact that there really isn't a lot, like I feel like the ownership's not going to be spread out anyway, and if you're playing an ownership game, you're playing pitchers that I really don't want to play.
No, that's fair.
The one guy that intrigues me is Carlos Martinez. I think from an ownership perspective, he is seemingly the primary pivot off of James Paxton. But what Carlos Martinez are we going to see in Milwaukee? I mean, that to me, if you're playing the ownership game in a tournament and if you want to get off James Paxton, I think you go to Martinez.
I hope they start Fegley because he's minimum salary.
Let's see on DraftKings. Oakland. Josh Fegley, 3K.
Is that minimum salary?
No, that would be 2K would be minimum salary, but finding anybody under 3K is extremely hard on DraftKings.
Okay,
that's in a starting lineup anywhere.
Give me. Let's circle this back. Give me your 3 favorite pitchers on the night.
As just always, the score the most.
No, as always, price per dollar.
Yeah. Again, I don't like anybody under Danny Duffy on DraftKings. My 3 favorite pitchers, I think, on the slate are Syndergaard, Paxton, and Duffy. But again, like I said, because there's really not much value on this slate, and you have to you have to pay for 2 pitchers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody's really worthy of a dart throw if you're SP2 down here. I think the only guy I can consider be worthy of a dart throw is perhaps
what's Aaron Nola on DraftKings?
He's $300 more than Duffy.
Wow.
$8,500.
Yeah, that's not a dart then. I would say Patrick Corbin's a dart against his San Diego offense.
That's exactly where I was going to go. I was going to say someone in this San Diego Arizona game.
Yep.
I think Corbin's really the only dart throw down here, but he's just not looked good all season. 5,800 on DraftKings.
I mean, Clayton Richards, for what it's worth, did do well against the Dodgers in LA. So, I mean, he is in a pitcher's ballpark.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could
I just think it's a safer way to go. I don't know that there's really any expensive stacks on this slate. Obviously, you've got some pretty expensive one-off guys we talked about with Harper and Freeman and Votto even.
Here's the problem with Clayton Richard. He doesn't strike out anyone. We talk about contact pitchers all the time. So.
Same with Corbin, though.
Corbin at least
but he's facing...
Yeah, he can at least get
he's facing San Diego.
Yeah, who strikes out a ton. So if you're going to pick between the two, go there. Who else you got?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm just really high on Paxton, obviously. Again, I don't know that I want to fade him on this 7-game slate.
Okay.
But if you, like I said, if you wanted to play that game, I would go to Martinez. He's seemingly the guy that in Milwaukee, is going to suffer as far as ownership because he's right next to Paxton in price on DraftKings. So if people are going to have that much money, I imagine they're just going to go right to Paxton,
Mm-hmm.
Are you Strasburg over Syndergaard, or are you just going to fade both?
I would go Strasburg over Syndergaard.
Is that because of the recent blister fingernail thing, or just because you like Strasburg's better?
I like his matchup a little better.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the K upside against Philly is a bit better than Atlanta.
True. Noah's also $800 more than Strasburg, so.
Yeah, 700 on DraftKings. So, if you need to fall,
Richards is his game tonight.
Richards is his game.
His guy. So.
Yeah, man. I think. I think you're gonna get on. I think you're gonna get those guys, Corbin and Richard, under 10% on a 7-game slate. So, on DraftKings, I wouldn't mind it. But you got some really nice strikeout pitchers today, man.
Yeah. Real quick.
These top 4 guys are all really good strikeout pitchers.
Real quick, Mike he mentioned that we skipped the Padres game. We didn't like any bats from this game. Really, the only guy I look at is Yasmani Thomas, who's a lefty killer. Goldschmidt's been struggling. Not really looking at Pollock or Peralta. So Yasmani Thomas is a one-off against lefties. But other than that, not really targeting any San Diego guys.
Yeah, I agree. Again, this ballpark tends to take me off some guys.
Yeah, especially at night. So, so my favorite 3 pitchers are going to be Danny Duffy 1, Strasburg 2, and I'd probably say Noah 3. I do like James Paxton as well, but simply for the fact that he's chalk, he's not probably going to end up in my lineups. So,
that's fair.
I'm a tournament player, and I think I can get very similar output from Danny Duffy, and even better from Steven Strasburg. So, give me your top 3 stacks, Mike. I got about 8 minutes left.
All right, yeah, top 3 stacks. I think I'm gonna go with the Mets with Bruce, Walker, Conforto.
Yep.
I like that 3-man stack. I'm also going to go with Seattle against Cesar Valdez. I really don't care where you go. I think 2 through 5.
Haniger, Cano, Mater. It's my favorite right there. Maybe Cruz.
I don't know. I like Kyle Seager, though. I mean,
true that.
The splits. Yeah, the hard contact rate with fly ball. I mean, obviously he might. I don't know. I haven't been playing much of him. I feel like he's due.
Yeah, he's only scored 8 points on average.
It's not bad.
That's not terrible.
Take it.
Who's your last stack?
Oh, I need another one? Let's go with the contrarian stack, because I feel like those two are not contrarian. So, my contrarian stack, I think I'm going to go with St. Louis in Milwaukee.
Okay.
And I'm going to go Dexter Fowler, Lemus Diaz, and Matt Carpenter. Those top 3 guys.
Okay. My favorite stacks are going to be the Nationals. Can't get me off a national stack today. Even without Murphy, I go Harper and Rendon 2-man stack. I guess you would call it that. And then Adam Eaton at 1. Even I could see that. Maybe some Matt Wieters if you wanted to go 3, 5, 6 right there. You could throw in Zimmerman if you want to. I love a Seattle stack as well, like Mike talked about. I think you target this guy. And then, damn it, where am I at? I guess I would have to say a Met stack as well. It's really painful for me to roster the Mets right now just because they're so inconsistent. But I do like a Bruce Walker Conforto stack. So
Give me the lefties in Kansas City too. Gordon, Moustakas, and Hosmer
yeah,
against Cashner.
yeah, Moose is a good play.
I'll go with that too.
Moose is a good play. I agree. So
Yeah, I guess Wieters is a pretty good call. There's not many catchers on this slate, man.
they're not. So I'm really mad that Jason Worth is not playing today. I really wish he didn't
I
get
know. I had him written down too, man. Stupid ass.
Stupid ass.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. I again, this whole pitcher thing on DraftKings with a 7-game slate. I'm still deciding, but I still think you can get Paxton in and still differentiate with your SP2 enough to keep up. You know.
yeah,
I mean, I'm looking at this GPP. I was looking at the top lines of my GPP yesterday, and everybody had Clayton Kershaw. You know, everybody had Clayton Kershaw, and their SP2 was either Vargas, Garrett, or Tanaka.
damn it, that's really infuriating that Brandon Moss is a first base only. Damn it.
Yep, takes away a really smart and really nice spot. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like that Matt Carpenter is 4,800. That's too much.
Way too much.
And that, I mean, it makes me want to. I think you can get Eric Hosmer in a good spot, pretty low owned today, because he's been underperforming. Things look okay, but the fact that Freddie Freeman is cheaper than Hosmer, it's like, how do I do that? You know?
Yeah, that one's not my favorite. Yeah, man. So
You mentioned who did you mention off Oakland to go against Rosales? Who's the third baseman, right?
Rosales is second base on FanDuel.
Let's see what his price is at. Right quick, because I'm looking for cheap guys. If I'm going to pay up for 2 starting pitchers today. Rosales, third base and second base eligible, 2,400. That is very, very cheap.
I'm telling you, dude, look at the splits. Look at this.
Yeah.
And
Hit a home run
this
against
is sizable, 150 at bats or plate appearances, and he hits a home run every 15 at bats from against lefties at home. I can get behind Alan Rosales today, man. Cards lineup is in. Let's touch that up.
the Cards. Fowler, Diaz, Carpenter.
Piscotti,
Maybe you can go
Molina, Jed Gallardo.
Molina today. What are your thoughts on Molina today?
I'm gonna pass
Again,
on Molina.
just because he's in Milwaukee at a catcher position, I think 2 guys are going to control the ownership. You know.
Mm-hmm. Colton Long, is he a switch hitter?
Not that I know of.
I thought he hit left-handed. Could be wrong. Colton Long. He does hit lefty. Why is he coming up at righty?
Yeah, he's a left.
Fix that. Yeah, Wong's definitely lefty.
Molina.
So, all right. Fortunately, I have to head out to school. So,
That thing.
yeah, that thing. So, appreciate you guys tuning in as always. If you're interested in joining, getting that MLB DFS 101 guide, joining the Slack, getting all these sheets, everything that's included with it, we will be hopefully adding in our home run predictions. So we have an amazing formula. Shout out to Jeremy. We're just perfecting it, testing it out these last couple days. Hopefully have it up this weekend for you guys. So
Yeah, if you guys stumbled upon us, you like some analysis, take it to the next level. It's a free trial. You get that spreadsheet you're looking at with all those numbers. We give you a 101 guide or how to read it, how to even just start if you've never been there. And
if you're confused and you want to see how to read it before you join, we have a video explaining it as well on the YouTube channel. So if you want to check it out. But all right, guys, we appreciate it. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you in Slack.